Most men make the error of thinking that one day it will be done. They think, if I can work enough, then one day I could rest. Or one day my woman will understand something and then she will stop complaining. Or I'm only doing this now so that one day I can do what I really want with my life. The masculine error is to think that eventually things will be different in some fundamental way. They won't. It never ends. As long as life continues, the creative challenge is to tussle, play, and make love with the present moment while giving your unique gift. That's one of my favorite quotes from The Way of the Superior Man by David Dita. And it's also the topic of today's video, which is the number one error of the masculine. So first of all, who am I? I've done over 500 meditation sessions, 800 gym sessions. I've gone from obese to fit. I used to weigh 265 pounds, and I dropped all the way to 200 pounds in just over 4 months, and then I gained back around 25 pounds of pure muscle. So I'm pretty heavy into the self-improvement space. I've also traveled 20 plus countries from ages 18 to 21, which means that I'm not just a gym bro. I've traveled the world. I've seen a lot of things. I've also gotten over 3 million views on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And the mission of this channel and these videos is to revolutionize online education. And just a quick plug, if you want to work with me, I have a marketing agency and I also have a one-on-one coaching program. So if you're interested in either of those after seeing this video, seeing what I'm capable of, check them out in the description and book a free call. So, what we're going to cover in this video is first what causes most people to suffer in the modern day, so going more into that error, and then the solution to this error, what we can do instead, and then finally how to 100x the solution using 3 different tactics, a few different, methods that I've used in the past couple years to really hone in on this. But first of all, the future doesn't exist. This is the first part we're going to cover. And this is a quote from Marcus Aurelius. If you don't know who Marcus Aurelius is, this guy was one of the most powerful people, the Roman emperor long ago. And he's the face of Stoicism, which is this huge belief system where you become independent of your emotions. These are the original people, the original gym bros and self-improvement guys who really did not let their emotions get in the way of their goals. And he had this one quote: "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." So what he's trying to say is that in the present moment right now, don't worry about the future. If you have any thoughts, if you have any images about the future, any anxiety around that, go back to the present moment, because at future time, you're going to go and you're going to reach that point, but you're going to feel the exact same as you do right now in the present moment. So there is no point in thinking about that future. There's nothing you can do about it, which is, goes back to those Stoicism values of do what is in your control. And only worry about what's in your control. If anything is outside of your control, let go of it and just become aware of it. So these are some more quotes about this, about how any thought about the future causes suffering in the present. So Eckhart Tolle, huge spiritual guru in the world: unease, anxiety, tension, stress, worry, all forms of fear are caused by too much future and not enough presence. And a few more quotes there by some philosophers. Basically, the point of this is that the present moment is where joy is. It's where living life really is. If you go to the past or you go to the future, you aren't living in the present moment, and you're worried about some future that doesn't really exist, because in that future point, you're going to be in the present moment anyways. You know what I mean? And if you're thinking about the past, there's literally nothing you can do about that. You are just reliving some memory you had during that time. And so that's also useless. And you actually get negative emotions for doing this. You're going to get anxious because our brain tends to also think about the worst possible case. This comes back from our biological nature of needing to survive in the woods, having this sort of predator-prey situation go on for so many years. Because we lived like that for so many generations compared to how safe we are today, our brain defaults to fear, it defaults to thinking about what could possibly kill us in this scenario. And so when we're thinking about these past memories, we're thinking about times from our childhood, or we're even thinking about future points that we have to meet, our brain is going to default to the worst possible thing that can happen to us for our own safety. But the con of this is that whenever we're thinking in our heads of whatever these different circumstances, it's going to be heavily exaggerated and we're going to feel very negative about it. So we have to live in the present moment instead. Another perspective of this is that when I get my dream body, when I have my dream business, when I find my dream partner, when I have my dream circumstances, then I can really live my life. This really hit home for me because during that period that I was learning how to lose weight, that I was learning how to get my dream body, I did not develop my social skills at all. I did not talk to girls at all. I was so insecure about this dream body, and I started thinking about this future when I do have that dream body. And obviously, when I lost the weight, I started improving in those other areas. But it wasn't because I got so fit that it actually was like, oh, like I was right. But in reality, it was I lost the weight. I looked in the mirror and I was like, wow, I feel the exact same as I did a few years ago. And then I went through this process of self-acceptance, of just realizing that what I had in my head was kind of delusion. And I think for a lot of people in that scenario specifically of wanting your dream body, I think it's still worth it to go work hard, get the dream body, build the discipline in the gym, and then come to this realization point. Like, I'm not saying that if you are very obese, like you have health issues right now, that you shouldn't lose the weight, that you should just come to peace with the present moment and go. I think you should still 100% go after those goals. But my point here is that if you have any future imagination about this dream business, this dream reality, about this dream wife that you are waiting for, that you are waiting to come to you, then that is not the ideal way of going about it for one huge reason. All of those goals are achieved in the present moment. Any thought about the future, any thought about, oh, this can be done next week, this can be done next summer, I'm going to wait till I have the perfect gym routine to get in there. I'm going to wait till I graduate school, until the kids leave, until some circumstance happens for me to start doing the actions that I need for that. That type of thinking will hold you back forever. Because even when that future circumstance comes up, you will still have the same thinking because you're still avoiding something you have to do in the present moment. So this is a quote from Psycho-Cybernetics, another one of my favorite books. And it says, the success mechanism within us, which in this book he introduces concept about how our brain has a success mechanism, which if we're able to do a task and we're there, our brain will naturally come up with the solution for it. It will come up with this creative solution to whatever is in front of us. But in order for that to work, it needs to work in the present moment. It has no concern with the past or the future. In order to be effective, it needs the energies that are available in the present moment. Worrying about the past or the future will bog it down. Simple, clear-cut decisions that your success mechanism can act on upon readily and without interference are essential. So basically what this is saying is that if you're ever trying to work hard on something, you're ever trying to come up with a creative solution, maybe you have some client work you're doing, maybe you're a coder, maybe you're a marketer and you're doing some marketing services, maybe you're also coaching some other people. In all of these different circumstances, you have to come up with creative solutions in order to solve their problems. And that task of creating, that task of using your brain's power, it is so much easier and better in the present moment. If you're coming at it from a state of stress, a state of anxiety, and you're thinking about the future, you're worried that it's not going to work out, or you're thinking about the past, about some past failure you have, it's not going to work. You're going to try to go at that task, you're going to try to work hard in the moment doing that thing, and you're going to get subpar results. If you're able to anchor more in the present moment, if you're able to relax and just be and do the work from that state of mind, you will have much better results. And so this whole point of this first part of this presentation is to sell you on the present moment, to say that it's the most important thing. The second part is how to access the present moment. So this is where we're going to talk about more of the techniques, more of the tactics. So what is meditation? So meditation is the greatest way you can anchor yourself in here. It's not the only one. We're going to go through a couple of them, but here's what meditation really is. I really thought about this. I was trying to get it to first principles because there's so much fluff online about what meditation really is. There's so many people that are putting themselves on a pedestal for doing this, and they're just like, oh, I meditate. You don't meditate? Like, what are you doing? But I just wanted to bring it down to the first principles. You just need to focus on a single point. And if you do this, if you just focus on a single point for a period of time, you will train your brain to remain anchored in the present moment. And it's literally that simple. Like, it could be you closing your eyes and just focus on your breath going in and out. It could be literally a point on your wall where two corners meet, like of two different walls. You just look at the intersection of that and just stare at that for 10 minutes, set a timer. And every single time you do this, even if it's for 2 minutes, even if it's for an hour, you will reduce the influence of past memories or future anticipations. And so this doesn't matter I see this so much with some of my friends and clients that want to get into meditation is that they're thinking they need to do 60 minutes. They'll ask me about my own practice. They'll hear, "Oh, you've done 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes before?" Damn, like my 1 minute, 2 minute session really like isn't anything. I'm pretty bad at meditating. I hear that type of thought process so much, but right now, if you do 2 minutes of meditation, you are the same as someone who does 60 minutes of meditation. I don't care if that 60-minute guy has some form of status and importance he gets from telling you that. It really doesn't matter. Like, don't overthink it. Just find the daily time and place and just start meditating. Because even if you do 2 minutes today, 2 minutes tomorrow, 2 minutes day after, you will get so many gains from that. I promise you, you will. I've seen it in my own life that when I've taken breaks and like low-key I was just not disciplined for periods of 30, 60 days, I would go back and I would meditate for 2 minutes and I would see a huge difference in my entire state of mind. I'd be so much more in the present moment. I'd be so much more calm, clear, and confident. Obviously, doing more is good and you should try to work up to at least 10 minutes a day, but start with 2 minutes and set a timer and just go for it. Another way that you can ground yourself in the present moment is with gratitude. And I've also wanted to simplify it here so you can see that whenever you write a sentence of gratitude, so I'm grateful for this YouTube video that is teaching me valuable lessons. If you were to write that down right now and you actually meant it, so hopefully you got some sort of value from this video and you feel grateful for me, you're training your brain to seek positivity in the present moment. So this is really interesting. A lot of people think that gratitude is just for girls or gratitude is just for like the hippie type of culture. But this is very logical. This is very, very useful for logical type of people, which if you're watching this type of video, I'm sure you're more logical than your friends. And what you're actually doing is that every time you write that piece of gratitude, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for my pen, I'm grateful for my laptop, you are training your brain to seek the positivity, and you do this enough, your brain will actually default to this joy in the present moment. And this is such a strange phenomenon. You wouldn't think that this would happen just from journaling, but it really does. And I've seen it in my own life that your brain will start to naturally find the things that you're grateful for. It's like if you write that you're grateful for nature enough, when you go and you're walking outside and you see a tree, your brain's just gonna be like, wow, like I am pretty grateful for that. That is pretty cool. And that little process happening inside of your brain brings joy. It brings happiness. And if you're able to feel positive in the present moment, you'll just want to stick to that state more. You'll feel more in the present moment. This makes it easier to access your success mechanism and be more creative, get all those other benefits that we talked about. So just start with 3 points in the morning. I actually couple this with my meditation practice. And so I'll meditate and just do 3 points of gratitude. Sometimes I'll go to 10, but for you starting out right now, just start with 3 points. These can be really short. It could literally be as short as I'm grateful for my pen, I'm grateful for my phone, I'm grateful for these videos. You know, it could literally be anything. And you'll see what your brain reacts to. You'll see how you feel in the moment. And the final one is an exercise and vibrant social life. So dozens of studies have shown that people who have satisfying relationships with family, friends, and their community are happier, they have fewer health problems, and live longer. That's some doctor. But the point is that if you're around people heavily, you will feel happier in the moment. You will be more grounded in the present moment. If you get isolated for any period of time for too long, you will naturally feel more depressed and anxious about everything. And if you want to test this out for yourself, just the next time you feel any form of anxiety, any form of stress, you feel negative, just literally call your friend and make up some excuse to call them, just talk about something random, and just see inside of yourself how you change, how your just negativity fades away and you go back to the present moment. And the other thing is exercise. Exercise is the single most powerful tool you have to optimize your brain function. It produces neurological changes that elevate your mood, expand your capacity to handle stress, and sharpen your focus, bringing you firmly into the present moment. Exercise is another one of those great anchor points that you can use. If you ever are in an anxious state of mind for any reason, you ever feel negativity, you could always just drop down and do push-ups or literally go to the gym. Any form of exercise that releases those endorphins, that releases some of that pressure, you will feel so much better. In some of my most negative states of mind I've had in my life, my first reaction has been to go work out. And that single-handedly has saved me so many hours of just living in that stressful state. And I hope that you can do the same thing. Finally, we're moving on how to 100x the present moment. I've taught you these different tactics. You know that the present moment is important for you to get into. But how can we 100x this? So you have to do the daily meditation, the exercise, the gratitude, and you also have to constantly anchor your focus into whatever is in front of you. So I got this point from a book called The Power of Unwavering Focus by Dandapani. He's this Indian monk who moved back to the US and got into business stuff. And he talks about how just 20 minutes of meditation isn't that much, like even doing an hour of meditation is only like 2% of your day. If you want to really, really get into the present moment, you have to practice it throughout the entire day. You have to constantly be anchoring your focus into whatever's in front of you. So let's say that you're in a social setting and you're talking with your friends. Really focus on their eyes, focus on their facial expression, really listen as hard as you can. Anchor yourself in that conversation. Even if your brain goes thinking about something else, and let's say your brain is thinking about something productive and you're thinking about some ideas you have, don't even let your brain do that. Literally focus on that present moment. This could also apply to books, tasks you're doing, driving, your body, just at random points. If you want to feel into your energy field, feel into like what your body is, just go and do that. If you're walking outside and you're like naturally wanting to go put in music or naturally wanting to listen to something, instead try to feel your foot sensations on each step. Really anchor into the present moment. It could also be looking at nature while you're walking outside. Really just like during your daily life, try to just anchor your focus into different things constantly as you're moving around. And you'll find that you will just really feel the present moment. You really feel into your environment in front of you, and you'll be less likely to think about the past or think about the future. This is really, really powerful, and this is more advanced. So if you already are just doing the daily meditation and exercise gratitude, if you can just get into that, you will find so many gains in this area. You will be so immersed into the present moment. But if you are able to do that for months and months, and then you want to level up, this is when you start bringing this into the rest of your life. Another huge way to optimize this is to create a habit tracker. So this is one of my old ones, and basically I would write down my gratitude, my meditation. Morning momentum for me just meant my morning routine of like cold shower, doing some other stuff, and then eat the frog. If you can create this this is a really simple system, right? Like you literally just have the names of the habits, and then you have the dates going down, and you just mark an X. And one cheat code here is that you really don't want to make each X mean that much. Like if you're aiming for 10 minutes of meditation and you want to really be able to do that, make an X equal to 2 minutes. And so if you do 10 minutes of meditation, you get to write down 5 different X's. This is really powerful. And obviously for me, you can see there that I'm aiming for an hour on those days. Like I got the hour. And then the other days I went to 30 minutes as like a default. You just want to make it literally in like 5th increments of like whatever you're doing. So for me, aiming for an hour, I just made 10-minute increments. For you aiming for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, you could do 1 to 2 minute increments. Because it's just very rewarding to just see more X's for the effort you're putting in, and you'll be more likely to do it more. So make one of these habit trackers and really try to stick to it. If you fall off at the start, that's fine. You should expect that to happen, but try to bring yourself back to it. And the final tactic here that I can say to really 100x this is to find an accountability partner. We all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we improve. That's a quote by Bill Gates, but it is very, very true. Your ego will tell you that you don't need other people in order to get better at these things. Your ego will tell you, nah, like I can improve it. I'll tell myself to keep going. But if you have someone else you're talking to on a weekly basis about what you've learned, you're talking to on a weekly basis about how you failed, how you succeeded in these different habits, and they're doing the same thing, that is one of the most beautiful connections for one, but it's also one of the most amazing tactics for staying accountable. Because if you create that system and you keep talking to them, you will find that when you don't do the habit, you feel so guilty talking to them. You feel so guilty about not actually meeting the goal, about actually doing the habit. And that guilt is so powerful. I found that for myself recently. I've created a group chat with a few other people making YouTube videos, and I've never felt the amount of pull I've had to upload more consistently. It is super powerful. If you ever read Think and Grow Rich, he has a whole chapter dedicated to this about masterminds. Even Mr. Beast, on his way to blowing up to where he is now, a billionaire at age like 25, he said one of the most important things for him was to find a group of people that he could talk to every day about the habits that he was doing, which was making YouTube videos. This is extremely powerful. Also, another plug, if you want to work with me, check out my marketing agency. If you own a business, check out my coaching program. If you're looking to do all of these habits, if you're looking to do all these habits and really level up faster than you would just watching the videos. If not, just keep watching my videos. If you hit the like and subscribe button, you'll be able to have the algorithm push you more videos. But I hope you start all of these. Watch this next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.